Hello, everybody. Well, I wanted to kind of get into this. Everybody, pretty much all you know that the FAA's been sued by race day quads, and I don't know who all's involved in that yet. I haven't really looked into it that much. I did watch some of the stuff about it, about one of the court hearings. I think it was the first court hearing. And the FAA still pushing the national security and public safety issues. And it's just ridiculous because you look at the RC hobby and how many people have been killed in the RC hobby as long as it's been around. I think there was one, and honestly, the guy did something stupid and he should not have had his hands on a transmitter, period, at all. Just, I don't know, inexperienced, uneducated, just should not have been flying. So that was his own fault, and luckily he was the only one that got, taken out. But that's the only one I could ever find. I could not find anything else in history where a person was hurt severely or killed by the RC hobby at all, especially including aviation, especially aviation. That was primarily what I was looking for, RC aviation. Any deaths in your last, 80, 100 years of it or something. But the FAA still pushes all this, public safety and national security. That's why we need remote ID and blah, blah, blah. And, it's just crazy. Well, first of all, national security, really, anybody that's going to be doing something illegal or something that's going to compromise national security isn't going to be following any rules, especially those about remote ID. They're not going to have remote ID on any device they're going to use, whether it's a ground vehicle, air vehicle, whatever, or just throwing a rock. They're not going to have remote ID on it. They're criminals, period. When it comes to public safety, same thing. People that are going to be doing something nefarious are not going to have this remote ID or whatever. All the remote ID is going to be doing is putting us legitimate and safe and educated RC pilots at risk, because remote ID allows people to find you with a cell phone or anything else, any electronic device that can pick up Bluetooth, blah, blah, blah. It tells them exactly where you are. There's a lot of crazy people out there that I didn't even pull up these articles about people that have been shot and killed and beaten just because somebody saw them flying in a craft. Some crazy person comes up and shoots them, comes up and beats them, steals their stuff. So now all the remote ID would do is make it easier for people to find you so they can beat you, shoot you, kill you, steal your stuff, whatever they're going to do. So why have the remote ID when we're doing our stuff safely in the middle of nowhere, or clear area, nobody around, maybe a couple of friends that you're flying with or at a club or whatever? Why have remote ID? What good is it going to do? The FAA pushes national security and public safety. Well, the thing is, my flight setups, I might get a kilometer out of them, but I'm not interested in flying that far, because if it goes down, I certainly don't want to go chasing after it and trying to find it. A few hundred yards, 600 yards, 800 yards. Not even that. Geez, that's too far. I'm typically flying within a couple of football fields, 200 yards. That's it. Any more than that, I really don't feel like trying to chase it down and trying to find it, especially if it goes down in bushes or, something like that. I don't want to do that. So I have no interest in long range. People that are doing long range, hopefully you're doing it safely. I see a lot of people that are doing it safely and do it responsibly. But do you really want to try and go find it, or you just want to risk losing your stuff? I'm not going to do that. So I'm in the middle of nowhere usually, or at a park that I've had permission to fly. Something like that. On soccer fields, I've had permission to fly when nobody's around, of course, and that's where I go. A couple other little spots that are in the middle of nowhere, permission to fly, no problem, and there's never anybody around. Maybe me and a couple of friends, and that's it. So this all this FAA saying that our RC hobby is the threat to national security and public safety is absolutely ridiculous. And here's what I'm going to tell you that they need to focus on. This is what's on the screen right now. They need to focus on this kind of stuff right here. I picked up a couple of these articles. I've only got these from one source, or a couple of sources, but I picked up a couple of these articles. I picked up a couple of them in June and July, end of June and one in July, and then in September I was thinking, okay, well, maybe I'll start grabbing a few more of these from this one source. I don't want to go researching everything, but I had found quite a few on other sources. Most of them were the same plane crashes, but there's probably about 30 or 40 more articles. I don't know if they were the same all the time, but some of them look completely different. I don't have those up here. Also, several of the articles that I had on here since September are no longer available, so I don't have those pulled up as either. But just to tell you an idea of the count I got out of how many articles I pulled off of just one source was around 70 since September. I stopped counting about 60. There was probably 50, 60. There was probably about 10, 15 more. But I have other sources that I looked at, and there's just even more plane crashes. This is just since September of 2021. Well, this one is a little earlier. Just going to go through these real quick, just here. This is what the FAA really needs to start focusing on. Why are they saying that we are the RC hobby are the threat to public safety and national security when this is what's happening? Here we go. 2 killed, include Air Force Academy cadet after small plane crashes in Johnson County. That was, I think, in July or June. Let's see here. Parking brake found in set position in Farmington. Plane crash that killed Boston couple, 2 local pilots. Yep, there you go. Irresponsible pilots. Helicopter and plane collide midair in Arizona. I don't see any RC hobbyists involved here, or drones or anything involved yet. 2 people killed after helicopter and plane collide midair. I think it was the same one in the last one. A couple of these articles will probably do about the same thing. 2 passengers dead after helicopter plane crash. Okay, that's the same, probably the same one. Plane taken off from road after parade. Crashes onto Texas highway, video shows. Here we go. But we're not going to look at the videos because, I'll get a strike. Probably going to get a strike for all this anyway. Plane flips upside down during crash landing in NC Field with 2 on board. Let's see. Plane crashes in a building near Milan. Well, that's not in this country, but still, they got to be concerned about this kind of stuff because it's constantly happening. Constantly happening. Romanian billionaire and family dead after crashing plane in Milan. That's the same article, pretty much. Same instance. Spirit Airline plane catches fire in New Jersey after a large bird strike. Bird strike. That's not a drone. That's not one of us RC hobbyists. One of its engines and strikes one of its engines and tries to take off. Okay, so here's another one. Yeah, large bird strike. Large bird strike. That's the same one about that. I'm probably not going to go through all of these, but there's quite a few here. Spirit Airlines engine catches fire. Probably the same one. Russian plane carrying parachutists crashes. 16 killed. Okay. Well, that's the same one there. Plane with engine trouble deploys parachute and crashes into trees. South Carolina officials say. Okay. Officials, plane that crashed near Atlanta was full of fuel. Just one plane crash after another. Nonprofit group founder, teen daughter among 4 killed in Georgia plane crash. Keep going. Let's just go through these. Video shows plane fall from sky, explode in residential area near neighborhood. Yeah, okay. Well, this just more happening. I don't know what that's actually a video. It was probably just a little clip out of it. But anyway, I'm not going to get into watching these videos because, of course, YouTube would take this down. Video shows a moment twin engine plane crashed in a San Diego neighborhood, killing a pilot and a UPS driver. So there's a fire. All right, let's continue here. NTSB seeks plane that reportedly collided with another in midair near Sutton and kept flying. Okay, so there's 2 planes hit midair, manned aircraft. Plane crashing near Houston with serious reported injuries. UND student crashes plane he was piloting and dies. Let's go on. Small plane crashes into Wisconsin home, kills 2 on board. San Diego plane crash victims were medical crew working for air ambulance. And these are not necessarily in the order that they were occurring. Plane crashes near Schaefer, 1 person dead. Small plane issues Mayday before taking emergency landing at Davis Farmland in Sterling. Pilot who died in Kodiak plane crash was Soldatna, businessman. I don't know how to pronounce it. Anyway, building catches fire after plane crashes at North Carolina Country Club. And 11-year-old girl is a lone survivor of a Michigan plane crash. We're going to keep going. This is just what I have up here to begin with. Authorities began identifying Michigan plane crash victims. That's probably the same one from that girl. Small plane crashes near Diamondback Golf Course, Abilene Regional Airport. That's just showing the police there. 11-year-old girl is the only survivor. Yeah, that's the one we just looked at. Small plane crashes into Tampa Bay near Peter O'Knight Airport. We got pings from iPad and phone help find father-daughter plane crash survivors in Pennsylvania woods. That one was not close to me, but it was, in Pennsylvania. I'm over here in West Virginia. Police video shows dramatic water rescues after small plane crashes off of Florida coast. Second plane crashes in Charlevoix County, kills 2. Father and 13-year-old daughter found in Pennsylvania woods after plane crash. That was probably that last one. Pilot flying off Britain's flagship aircraft carrier was forced to bail out of an F-35 stealth fighter in the Mediterranean. So even the military, same thing. U.S.-bound passenger stranded after emergency landing. Nobody hurt when Ute plane burns after emergency landing in Bethel. Texas man killed in plane crash near Carlsbad was only passenger on personal flight. NTB releases a preliminary report on fatal Halloween night plane crash off of Cape. Single engine plane goes down in remote Lockwood Valley. Pilot rescued. This goes on and on. Pilot Rick Briggs, 65 of Chattanooga Falls, who found in senior TV, dies in plane crash near Pittsburgh. That's only about 30 miles from me. Fatal Hampton plane crash was not due to mechanical failure. This is just goes on and on. I really didn't realize how many of these I had just since September. And this is only a portion of what I have in my bookmarks. And a lot of these, quite a few of these were not even, the articles aren't even available anymore. I still have more that I can pull up, which I'm not going to do, but this gives you a good idea of where the FAA needs to put their efforts. Salvadorian military plane crashes in Pacific, 3 dead. That's not in the United States, but still, it's aircraft, manned aircraft. Here's the latest on Saturday's deadly plane crash in California Central Valley. I don't even know if I have the original article on that one. 4 people dead in a small plane crash in the South Valley near Highway 99. Southwest Airlines, person jumps out of plane while taxiing at Sky Harbor Airport. What the heck is going on here? You got crazy people, there's no security on the plane to keep people from trying to jump out of a plane or exit a plane while they're flying or on the tarmac or whatever. I mean, there's even an article I just recently saw about somebody tried to get out of a plane while it was flying. You got physical attacks on planes and all that kind of stuff, airlines and everything. It's just like, that's where the FAA needs to look, not to us RC hobbyists. No one injured after small plane crashes near Tram Road and Capitol Circle. I don't even know where that's at. Pilot arrested for operating while intoxicated after small plane crash lands in South Bend. An intoxicated manned aircraft pilot. Yeah. Okay. Helicopter crash halts traffic on Louisiana Interstate, troopers say. And preliminary reports provide no cause for November plane crashes. How many more of these we got up here? NTSB releases preliminary reports for November plane crashes on Beaver Island and in Boyne City. So there is more than one on that article. Small plane crash that killed one still being investigated. Who knows which article that's about unless we go through it. I'm not going to do that. FAA records track flight that ended in fatal crash near Bloomington Airport. Oh, what happened here? FAA got involved in this one? Is there something wrong? Because most of these articles I've seen, yeah, the FAA is investigating, but what do they really do? What are they really doing? Where is their focus? It's not on this stuff. Their focus is on RC hobbyists doing things safely, doing things responsibly, not bothering anybody. That's where their focus is. Trying to stop us from having a hobby and stopping innovation and stopping kids from being inspired to go into these fields and into the military, the Air Force, engineering, aviation, all that kind of stuff. They're just stopping all this stuff from happening instead of focusing on where they need to focus, which is on my screen. Small plane crashes near Hurlong Recreational Airport in Jacksonville, killing 2. A plane makes emergency landing in town of Wine. Witnesses describe what she saw. Let's see, there's probably only a few more here. Plane crashes in San Diego neighborhood. Plane clips other aircraft at Florida airport, no injuries. 4 feared dead after small plane crashes near San Diego. Aircraft crashes in residential area in Southern California. And we got at least 2 dead after plane crashes in a residential neighborhood in San Diego, near San Diego. California plane crash that burned homes leaves at least 2 dead. A couple of those might be about the same crash. Small plane crash near San Diego leaves at least 2 dead. Yep, there's another one about that one. At least 2 dead, including a UPS employee after small plane crash into Southern California homes. Investigation underway. I don't know if that's the same one from that other UPS driver. Probably is. Like I said, these are not necessarily in the order that they happen. UPS driver killed. Yeah, there's probably same one. And at least 2 people killed and 2 injured after small plane crash into a Southern California neighborhood. Probably the same instance. Pilot error likely caused plane crash near Dillon that killed 3 people in 2019. Well, this is going back to a 2019 crash. So that's the end of those right now that I have up on the screen. But I have a lot more bookmarked. And I didn't want to pull up more than one folder of these things. And out of this one folder, there was at least 10 to 12, maybe a little more, that the articles are no longer available. And this is just, like I said, what I've gathered of plane crashes and instances just since September of 2021 till now. And I didn't even look today, I don't think. I did look today. There was one article I found that had something like an update on a crash that was a couple weeks ago. But yeah, this is a lot of things happening here in manned aviation. How many do you hear about RC hobby? Do you remember when all the drone sightings suddenly started right before the FAA released their proposed rules for remote ID and all that stuff back in 2019? Yeah. Everybody went crazy about drone sightings. We got to stop the people that fly drones. We got to stop the RC hobby. It's national security. It's public safety. All these drone sightings. You remember after they released that, they suddenly ended? All the drone sightings just stopped. Nothing ever came out again. It was just like every single day there was drone sighting something. Drone sighting this, drone sighting that. Drones doing this, drones doing that. People in the RC hobby need to be stopped, blah, blah, blah. It went on and on. And as soon as they released that remote ID proposed rules, that was it. You didn't hear any more about it. Now, we got plane crash. We still have, this happens all the time, plane crashes. But go back to the RC hobby and stuff like that, people flying drones. Aerial photographers. I got to say something about some aerial photographers. I've seen it here. I've seen it where I fly, in the areas where I fly. I've seen it around town. If you have clearance and you have permission and you have all that kind of stuff, yeah. If you're doing something that's, legit and it's, clearance and everything, go ahead. But be responsible, not around people, not over people. Geez, that's ridiculous. If you're out in the middle of somewhere, like one of the parks I go to, I go all the way to the back of the park where almost nobody ever goes to. And I'm far enough away from the road and everything I can hear them coming halfway across the park because everything echoes around there. Anybody walking, I can hear them a long ways away. It just echoes where I stand. And, I always know when somebody's coming far, far away, and I'm not even in their area. I'm flying in a field that's well off the road, and I stay away from even where I stand at a pavilion, and I only land within 30 feet of that, 30, 50 feet of that. So most of the time, I know he's around, I'll land a little closer to myself. But otherwise, and if somebody shows up, I don't fly. That's all there is to it. Somebody shows up, I don't fly, especially with kids. Because I had one time, some kids come running out of the trees onto the field. I don't know where these kids came from. They came running out of the trees. They must have been in a path back there or something. And they started coming out. And I wasn't near them at the time, but when I was on the other end of the field, I was coming back and I saw these kids pop out from the trees. I immediately just boop, shot back over to where I was. Didn't even get near them at all and landed. I was like, where are these kids going to end up going? It's just, that's what you got to watch. You got to watch. You got to listen. You got to watch. You got to make sure you know what you're doing. But these aerial photographers, I've seen some of these guys do stupid stuff. Some of them have done some really stupid stuff. And I'm just so... there was one guy, he was flying right over the pool at a park. And it had a pool there. And there was a bunch of kids in the pool. He was flying right over the pool. I don't even know where the pilot was, but there was a drone flying over the pool. There was nobody in the pool area that I saw with a transmitter or anything. So the guy whoever was flying it was somewhere nearby. I just never found who it was. But I would have reported that because that was just stupid. People in the pool were looking up oh, the drone. It was like nobody knew where the guy was. But, police got called on that, stuff like that. But that was just endangerment. That was just stupid. People that do that kind of stuff, fly over people, fly without, certain clearance to do that kind of stuff or anything like that or permission or whatever, should not be flying, period. You get these people that go out to Walmart or Best Buy and they pick up a DJI drone or some cheap drone and they go out there, they don't know a single thing about any of the rules or any of the regulations or any safety, nothing. They know nothing. They don't even care about safety or anything. They just want that good shot to post on YouTube to try and make some money. Those are the ones you got to worry about. That, and you got the criminals, those are the ones you got to worry about. Not the people that are legitimate in the RC hobby, responsible like myself and many, many others. So FAA, you got to look into manned aviation, because just since September, and just what I put on my screen is only a small portion of what I had found and what I have bookmarked on manned aviation instances and crashes and deaths in 2021. From September, well, this one here on the screen right now is from June or July. But like I said, I only had a couple from June and July, and I started again in September just thinking, okay, maybe I'll just see what goes on in the next few months. And this is what happened, and this is only a portion of it. So there's a lot more that I have. And FAA, stop sticking your nose where it doesn't belong. Put it into where it does belong. Manned aviation, and going after criminals that are doing something nefarious, whether it's manned aviation or not. Criminals you need to go after, not the RC hobby. Not the kids in the school in the STEM programs trying to learn aviation and aeronautics and all the electronics involved and all the robotics and everything else that they're trying to do, learning how to do the engineering and all that. You don't need to be focused on shutting those kids down. You don't need to be focused on shutting us RC hobbyists down, because we're the ones that inspired those kinds of things. So you need to look at your manned aviation. That's where you need to focus, FAA, because I hardly ever see FAA looking into anything. No reports on the FAA finding anything or looking into anything. Hardly ever do I see that happening on manned aviation. All I see is your noses constantly poked into the RC hobby and STEM programs, STEAM programs. That's where I see you poking your nose. Wrong place. You're barking up the wrong tree, FAA. Change your tune. You're stopping this country from inspiring kids to do the things that need to be done for this country's national security. Those kids, if they're not inspired, they're not going to go into the military, they're not going to go into aviation, they're not going to go into engineering, aeronautics, anything like that. Aerospace, none of it. They're not going to be interested because they had no inspiration when they were kids. You take away that inspiration, all that's gone. This country falls just in that case alone. But there's other things going on. I'm not going to go into those. But, you know, the stupidity of our governments and everything is just beyond comprehension. So, all right, guys, I'm going to get off on a really bad rant if I don't turn this off. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you kind of like this video. It's not exactly a happy tune, but here it is. And as for race day quads and you guys going after the FAA, please, 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 push, push, push. I'm behind you all the way. I wish I could do more than what I can do, but, you know, I hope this all works out for the better, for the RC hobby, for you guys, for your businesses, all your business, all the businesses out there that are in the RC hobby that'll end up being shut down because of this. I mean, let's win. Let's win, guys. Thanks for the fight, race day quads, and we'll catch you all later.